What is your personality type? There are a lot of tools available that people use to classify someone else's personality. And you classify it as a type A or a type B, or you use the Big 5 model. But when I look at people, I see them either as a verb or as a noun. Stay with me and I'll tell you why. English, just like any other language, has a lot of rules, some grammar aspects that you need to take care of. You need to be aware of how to use a noun, a verb, a preposition, a pronoun, subject-verb agreement, active voice, passive voice, submissive voice. I'm not sure if the last one is true. But of all these things that I just spoke of, if there are two things that are closest to my heart, then they are a noun and a verb. Not because these are rules of grammar, but because these refer to people all around us. Let's understand what they mean. Now, a verb by definition refers to an activity. You may be playing a sport, you may be drinking water, whereas noun refers to a collection of things or a collection of people or a group of people. So basically, a verb is like an action, whereas noun is like an identity. Let's take an example to understand this further. Imagine that you are learning how to drive a car. Now, in some cases, you may get it right in the first go itself. In some cases, it may take you 10 shots, in some cases 20, and in some cases, like it was with me, it took me well over 50 attempts before I could learn to put the car into first gear and make it move without jerking to a stop. Now, while there are some people who will understand how to drive a car, at the same time, there will be a lot of people who may never be able to understand how to drive a car. Now, the reason for that can be many. Maybe you had a bad teacher, maybe the timing was wrong, maybe you're not in a good state of mind. But how we look at this whole process defines the personality that we have. You see, if you're failing to do something, there can be two possible outcomes out of it. First outcome, I failed. Second outcome, I am a failure. Now, when you say I failed, what you're effectively doing is you're separating yourself from the activity and you're saying that I failed at that activity. But when you're calling yourself a failure, what you're doing is that you are making it your identity. You're not saying that you fail at something, but you're saying that you as a person are a failure. Now, we need to understand that just because we failed once does not make us a failure. And that's primarily the difference between a verb and a noun. A verb sees the whole incident as a comma, saying that you failed at that activity, but you can try it again. Whereas a noun sees the whole incident as a full stop, by saying that this is who you are. You failed at this is what you're going to be. A verb gives you the leverage to go at that thing and try it again, but a noun takes away your leverage from you and it forces you to just stop dead in your track. And this is what brings us to this core realization. The fact that a noun is a state of being, whereas a verb is a state of becoming. You may not be where you are right now, but you're becoming that person with your continuous efforts. And so that is the primary difference between a verb and a noun. And that is how I look at people. I look at people and I try to understand that are you being stopped dead in your tracks by the setbacks that you're facing, or are you willing to see it as a verb by saying that, okay, let me act as a verb and go ahead with this activity regardless of what the results were. In the end, every time you are up to do something new, every time you're learning something new, and you have to make a choice between a personality type, you have to make a choice to display a certain behavior, always choose to be a verb. This is Harsimran Singh. Thank you for watching.